humiliated herself, and he said, "You're nothing but a whore. You're a slut. How could you do that movie?" He yelled at her in front of people. So Sacha Baron Cohen saw all of this.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then
he said, "My wife, you're hurting my wife. Stop making her my wife."
Right. You're a slut. How could you do that? You're my wife. So Sacha Baron Cohen actually texted her the next day to like check on her. And she said that Kid Rock was divorcing her. So clearly their marriage wasn't on a good place if Borat can break up your marriage. So
like she didn't tell him about the filming or.
No, yeah.
I mean, it's funny. She's hilarious in it.
Yeah. It's a funny movie. Kid Rock's just a dick. He's a dick.
He was making an excuse. He wanted out.
Yeah, exactly. And apparently during this 4-month marriage, she also suffered a miscarriage and like called him and was like, "I want you to come to me," like wherever she was. He was like on tour or something and he wouldn't. And he later told Rolling Stone that she was faking the miscarriage.
Oh, fuck you.
Which I know. I'm not buying it. Fuck off, Kid Rock. So Kid Rock's rocky marriage to Pamela Anderson also led to a fight at the MTV Video Music Awards in 2007. Kid Rock slapped Tommy Lee after allegedly overhearing Tommy Lee talking trash about him to P. Diddy, which might be the most 2007 thing I've ever said.
That's giving me a headache. Did he then say, "Take my wife's name out of your mouth"?
Exactly. So he wasn't even married to Pamela Anderson anymore at this point. Like, yeah. I don't know. He punched Lee in the face. Security had to show up and separate them. And Kid Rock was charged with misdemeanor battery after this. A month later, him and 5 members of his entourage got into a fight at a Waffle House in Atlanta.
That is so trashy.
I'm like, keep your shit out of Waffle House, you asshole.
Waffle Houses are a sacred place.
They are.
I agree.
Once again, charged with misdemeanor battery. He was released later that afternoon. He was also charged with assaulting a DJ in a strip club. Awesome dude. In January 2015, Kid Rock got a bunch of shit because he went hunting with Ted Nugent.
Former creep from the show.
Yes. And he there was some photo of like him with like a dead cougar and everyone was like, "That's gross. Like, how dare you be into hunting?" And I was like, how gross.
How gross.
There you are. You're back.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. So you were at how gross about the hunting.
So everyone was horrified that he's out there hunting with Ted Nugent. And I'm like, you should be horrified that he's hanging out with Ted Nugent. He's hunting. He's a sexual predator. Also, I mean, obviously hunting is not my jam, but also Ted Nugent, that's fucking gross. Yeah. I don't want to be accused of not pointing out some good things. So Kid Rock actually did give $1 million to Detroit-based charities, including like an interactive music lab at the Historical Museum. He helped end a strike at the Detroit Symphony, and he funded a Made in Detroit scholarship at one of the universities. And because of his ongoing support of Detroit, Kid Rock was actually honored by the NAACP.
Okay.
Which I was like, what the fuck when I read that? Because it turns out there were all these protests because Kid Rock loves to wave the Confederate flag around. Loves to wave it around. And during the ceremony, like Kid Rock like elaborated on how he waves the flag around. And this is what he said. "I never flew the flag with hate in my heart.
Oh, for God's sakes.
I love America. I love Detroit. And I love Black people." He still waves the flag around. This is still a thing that he does. I think that's 100% hate in his heart with doing this. There was a church shooting here in this country in Charleston. This was in 2015. And it was in in a black church. Like a white supremacist went in and killed a bunch of people in a church. Mm-hmm. And a local chapter in Michigan of the National Action Network asked Kid Rock, come on, stop waving that flag around. Like, it's time to renounce it. And instead of listening and learning, Kid Rock said, I've never had a problem with the Confederate flag.
Oh, okay, then.
Yeah, it just represents pride and Southern rock and roll music.
No, it doesn't.
Plus, it looks cool. Dude, that's not what the Confederate flag is. It represents racism and bigotry. Of course it doesn't bother you. You're a white dude.
Right.
Like, he's such trash. He also wrote an email to the Fox News channel, and he wrote it to host and garbage person Megyn Kelly, stating, please tell people who are protesting to kiss my ass. So
you tell them. What the fuck is he?
Yeah, I'm like, fuck off.
I don't like Megyn Kelly, but she's not your fucking mouthpiece.
I know. Well, he likes Fox News. He likes to use them as its.
Of course he does.
Of course he does. Other people he loves to talk shit about. So I never saw this movie. Did you see American Sniper?
Yes, I know that movie.
With Bradley Cooper. Okay.
Yes, it's the one with Clint Eastwood directs it. Clint Eastwood is known for like spending a week on a movie tops. Like he first take only.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where he's playing a real person, but that person's story, I think you'll probably go into that, as controversial to say the least. But there's a scene where Bradley Cooper is holding a fake baby, and it looks like the fakest of fake babies ever in a fake movie. Like it's so distractingly stupid because he's crying or something, and then like, look at my baby, I'm holding my baby, and it's like plastic, like. Ridiculous. I haven't even seen the movie because I was like, it's just not for me, and that's fine. One of those resuscitababies that I used to train CPR.
Yes,
for. That's what it looks like.
So it's the story itself is pretty problematic, but once again, I haven't seen it, so whatever. But it comes out, and Seth Rogen and like director Michael Moore were criticizing it. They're like, I think it's like warmongering. It's glamorizing like killing civilians, all this stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. So for whatever reason, Kid Rock decides that he needs to defend American Sniper. So he's like, fuck you, Michael Moore, you're a piece of shit, and your uncle would be ashamed of you. I don't know who Michael Moore's uncle is, but
Alexa?
Okay.
Who's Michael Moore's uncle? Oh, I don't think that's the one. Never mind. It probably didn't pick up on the mic. It doesn't matter.
Maybe, I'm assuming maybe his uncle. I'm going to assume that his uncle maybe served in the military.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
Okay, so your uncle would be ashamed of you. And then he said, Seth Rogen, your uncle probably molested you.
What?
I hope both of you catch a fist to the face soon. What the fuck?
Oh, my God. What an asshole.
So, seriously, also, Kid Rock, sometimes it's okay to just not have an opinion. You could just shut your mouth.
Yeah, you don't have to wade in on everything.
Yeah. Also, what media organization was like, I wonder what Kid Rock thinks about the American Sniper movie. Who cares? Anyway, he also had the nerve to talk about Beyonce, saying he doesn't get what all the fuss is about. Oh, boy. And he said, Beyonce, to me, doesn't have a fucking purple rain. She's one of the biggest things on earth. How can you be that big without at least one Sweet Home Alabama or old time rock and roll? He's basically saying she doesn't have a big enough hit.
But he's also saying a white person's hit.
Yes.
Like, that's not what she does.
Yeah. People are like, Beyonce's hot. She's got a nice fucking ass or something. He's like, I'm like, cool. I like skinny white chicks with big tits. She doesn't really fucking do much for me, is what he said. And then I wrote, keep Beyonce's name out of your fucking mouth, Kid Rock. Like, what the fuck?
It's not. What a fucking idiot. I mean, that's not the music she does. She doesn't do Sweet Home Alabama. That's not what she's going for. And she's a black woman, and she's one of the successful artists of the 21st century.
Yes. And she's had huge hits. Huge hits.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry if they're not to your taste, Kid Rock. You know, I guess, you know, she doesn't have a fucking Bad Witta or whatever the fuck that song is.
My name is Bay.
My name is Bad Take. Bad Take, Kid Rock. Just fuck off. He was also criticized for he's just singing his Born Free in some concert and then like threw in a fuck Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, fuck you then.
I know, right? Like, how dare this football player, this black man, kneel during the national anthem during NFL games to protest police brutality? So just so you know, Kid Rock is allowed to have political opinions, but not black people. When Taylor Swift came out and endorsed Democratic candidates, he just said Taylor Swift wants to be a Democrat because she wants to be in movies. What? She could... And it looks like she will suck off a doorknob to get there. Oldest move in the book. Good luck, girl. So once again, Kid Rock is allowed to have political opinions, but not black people and definitely not women.
What a fucking asshole.
He's such an asshole.
My God.
By the way, whoever wrote in our Facebook group that they wanted to have a drinking game that said, seriously, fuck that guy, start drinking. Seriously, fuck this guy. So really, like, starting with the election of disgraced former President Donald Trump, Kid Rock went all in on being a shitty person. There's like a million think pieces out there about how the election of Trump emboldened racists and homophobes and sexists in this country. And Kid Rock is like a prime example of that. He actively campaigned for Trump. And he made campaign appearances with like Donald Trump Jr. And that fucking mouth breathing cokehead, Donald Trump Jr. And if you think campaigning for Trump, allegedly, if you think campaigning for Trump and hanging out with his gross family isn't enough to make you a creep, you're wrong. This isn't the right podcast for you.
Exactly.
I look forward to your 1-star review. So in December 2016, Kid Rock actually expanded his merch line on his website in support of Trump. And he had these like a map on a shirt. Part of like any state that wasn't like a red state was referred to as dumb fuckistan.
Oh, I've seen that one.
And it's like
but I've seen it in the reverse.
And then the United States of America is the red states. So like if you're blue, you're not American, and if you're red, you're American. And then other ones were like God, guns, and Trump, and Donald Trump, but like the D is missing because it's in every hater's mouth. So I guess every hater is got a dick in their mouth. Is the joke?
Dicks are coming up a lot in this episode.
Yeah, because he's a dick. At one point, he got cut from the Nashville Christmas parade because he was swearing on television about Joy Behar.
I'm sorry. That's funny.
Like, it's just like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's just like random shit I learned about Kid Rock in this. At one point, he was performing at a place called the Honky Tonk Bar in Nashville, and he went on this huge tirade against Oprah Winfrey, and he said that she could suck a dick sideways. What? I don't know what that means. And I was like, what?
Like corn on the cob? I don't understand. Like corn on the cob? I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but he got kicked out of a honky tonk bar. So you must be pretty fucked up to get kicked out of a honky tonk bar.
Yeah.
I mean, just last year he was performing at this really huge venue in Tennessee. I'm just kidding. It's called the Fish Lips Bar and Grill in Smithville, Tennessee. And he noticed some people were filming, and he probably noticed because there was probably like 6 people there. And he yelled out like, you fucking homophobic slur, with your iPhones out. And, you can post this dick right here, and grabbed his crotch. And he's just like throwing out all the gay slurs at these people as an insult. And instead of apologizing, alerting anything, he doubled down. He posted on his social media channel, if Kid Rock uses the word gay slur, offends you, good chance you are one.
Oh, fuck off.